Welcome and welcome back, everybody. Tabletop Toki here, and in today's video, we'll be doing a solo playthrough of Circle the Wagons Second Shot along with the Lone Cowboy expansion. This is a standalone expansion to the original Circle the Wagons that can be combined or played on its own, and the Lone Cowboy expansion for Second Shot will also include brand new scenarios for solo play. During the course of the playthrough, I'll give a tutorial about how the game is played, and be sure you stick around for the end of the video where I share my thoughts about the game in general. A huge shout out to Button Shy Games for providing a copy for preview here today, but without further ado, let's get started. We have a game of Circle the Wagons Second Shot with the Lone Cowboy expansion set up and ready to play. Over the course of the game, we'll be drafting cards from our circle and trying to gain adjacent territories as well as fulfill our 2 scoring objectives. For setup, we'll start by selecting one of these solo scenario cards. Today we'll be playing Fort Knights. You'll take the 2 matching objectives. You'll then shuffle the remaining 16 cards, placing them with their territory side up, making a circle of 8 cards, and the rest will go in a draw pile in the middle. The solo game is going to be played in 2 rounds. In the first round, we'll draft cards as per usual, where we can take the starting card or any card afterward, but any cards we don't take will go to our opponent's row. Our opponent will then draft a card. Their priority for round 1 is to get a card that has an exact matching symbol and territory as the one shown on top of the deck. If they can do that within the first 3 cards available, they will take that. Any remaining cards will go to us to put into our tableau. And they will additionally take the top card off of the draw deck. If they can't, they'll just take the first card available, and then it will go back to our turn. During the second round, they'll instead draft based on their specific rule. So for Fort Knights, they want to skip at least 1 card with a beer or a fort. When we place cards into our tableau, we're looking to make adjacent territories, like I said, so rows of mountains and things like that. Cards can be rotated 180 degrees, but they always must be placed with one edge touching the current grid or overlapping any number of territories that are already placed out. After the 2 rounds are over, they will also get points based on the types of territories shown on their cards. So if a card has 2 territories like this, they'll get 3 points per card. If it has 3 different territories, it'll get 2. And if it has 4 different territories, they'll get 1 point. We, on the other hand, will score based on our largest group of territories for each of the territory types, 1 point per territory in that largest group. And we'll get Cow Tipsy and Little Fort on the Prairie. So we're looking to get 2 points for each beer that's adjacent to at least 1 cow. And we'll get points for each fort that is on or adjacent to a prairie. So to kick things off, we can take this card here, which isn't great for us. It would give them 2 points since it has a beer on it, but that's fine, I think. They would then, however, take this card and this card, which we would really like to hold on to, but we can't really prevent them from taking that, unfortunately. So I think we just have to take as many cards as we can. We'll take this one, place it into our grid. That's our starting card. And then they will draft. Again, they're looking for any matching symbols. This is the first one. It's within 3 cards. So they're going to take that as well as the top card. But we get these 2. So we want to put our beers next to cows. This one's already set, so that's great. And we could also potentially start building out this way for beer cow combos and something like that, so that we have our red desert territories together and our mountains together. We have some beers and some cows ready to be placed next to each other. Unfortunately, no prairie yet though, but we could maybe get snow. And then it's our turn to draft our actual card. This matches this, so we don't want them to have that, but we also don't want them to get the snow card with all of the beer and snow. We can't stop them though. So it's about, what do we want? Do we want a lot of cows? Do we want some beers? This card doesn't, it only gets them 1 point. So the real question is, do we want this card or do we want to give it to them so that we can get this card and then they won't be able to grab this card because there are no matching territories? That might be our play, but then we're giving them 2 cards worth a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 points. But then they don't get this for 3 points and we could maybe grab it next. So I think we are going to reluctantly give them 2 more cards. Take this one for ourselves. We could put this beer adjacent to the cow there if we cover up our little pick. And it gets us started with prairie, which we want adjacent to forts. So the other option is we can put it down here and get 2 points for that prairie. And then they will take this card, which doesn't have any matching symbols, so just that card for them. Round 2, we're going to deal out the remaining cards, and it's our turn. So we can take this card. It's a lot of snow, which I think we want to definitely implement, and we can put that beer next to that cow up here. We'll go like this. We're going long way. It's a little unwieldy with our recording setup, but we'll make it work. Okay, so there's that. And then, yeah, because that's 2 points for that, and it gives us a big snow territory, which is really nice. And then we're going to go ahead, or they're going to rather, skip one card with a fort and a beer if they can. This one doesn't have fort or beer, so that'll go into their tableau. We'll just kind of put it off to the side there. And then it's up to us if we want this one for the fort and the prairie. Seems pretty good, honestly. And it could add to a snow territory. Not really. Yeah, and then they would get this card, though, which is also pretty good. And it has a beer and a cow. So I think we want this card instead, because this is just, well, this is 3 points for them, which is not great. But this is a lot of points for us, because we have beer cow combo, we have fort prairie, and then we have some water spaces, which we could maybe get some points with. They're going to skip one with a fort and take this card, which means we get this. And we know we have this coming. So can we put this beer next to a cow? Let's see. Oh, and we'll slide this down just a little bit more so we can see that gun up there. All right. My thought is we could do something like this, and then we could connect our greens here. Or here. I'm trying to get these two forts next to each other somehow. Where's another cow? We could also go for cow here and do something like, oh, they don't work like that. Actually, this pickaxe and this green don't do us any good, so we might as well extend our Badlands. Oh, but we want this fort next to a prairie card. If we do that, do something like that. Maybe we'll just go, oh, but we want the beer next to the cow. Ha! There's so much here. Okay. Gotta be really strategic with it. Our last two cards. So maybe we do put this beer next to this cow down here, question mark? Or we could put this cow next to the beer later once we get that card, in which case we should just try to make territories as best we can with these without then having to cover other things up. We put it on this left side. I think that would be most ideal. We're gonna put it here, and we're gonna take this card and then place it with the fort adjacent there. Not super great because we're not extending our green territory, but this will get us 2 points plus 3 versus just 5 points there. Oh, but we wanted the beer next to our cow too. Shoot, we'll just do that. All right, I'm not sure if that's the best placement, but that's what we're going with. So it's time to tally up our scores. Let's do our cowboy score first. For their cards, we have beers and forts. There's 2 for this one. We'll just do tallies. So 2 because it has a fort, 4 because it has a beer and a fort, no beers or forts, 2 for the beer, no beers or forts, no beers or forts. We did okay there. 2 for the forts and 2 for the beers. So that is a total of 11 for their unique types of objects they're looking for. And then for the territories, we have 1 here, 3 here. We have another 1 here, another 1 here, another 1 here. Ooh, we did pretty good. This one has 3 territories, so that's 2. This one has 1, and this one has, 3, 2 more. Yeah, so 2 more points. So they got 12 there for a total of 23. And then for us, we're gonna look at our largest territory of each type. So let's start with prairie. Unfortunately, we only have 1 in our largest prairie, so that's 1 point. And then we have our largest badlands, which is 3. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go with our forest next, which we have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have water. Down here we have 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we have snow, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us a total of, let's see, 16 for those. And then we get cow tipsy and little fort on the prairie. So beers next to cows, 2 points each. This beer is next to cows. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Not that one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have 10 points plus forts that are on or adjacent to prairies, which we have 2, 4, oh no, 6, 8. I think that's it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So that's 18 for a total of 34 to their 23. So there you have it. That is a solo playthrough of Circle the Wagons Second Shot. The original Circle the Wagons is one of my favorite two-player micro games. I think that the tiling and drafting just works really well, and the scoring is very succinct. I love that you have unique scoring each game too. So hearing that there was more of it that is combinable was just a really exciting time for me. I think that the new scoring objectives in Second Shot really work well on their own and in combination with some of the earlier versions. We didn't see it in today's video, but for the two-player version, you can also play an extended game of 2 rounds back-to-back versus your opponent using both sets. So that is really exciting if you want even more Circle the Wagons goodness. I really love the Lone Cowboy scenarios as well for this second set and the updates to scoring. In the original Circle the Wagons, for the solo mode, you actually had to look at all the different territories and calculate how many of each of the different territories the cowboy scored versus just looking at how many territories were on each card and that card having a specific value. And even though that seems like a small thing, it really cleaned up the scoring for me. Prior to that, I was a little turned off by calculating out all the math and counting all the territories for the opponent. But doing it this way, where each card is just worth 1, 2, or 3 points on standard mode, or you can increase or lower the difficulty, of course, but regardless, it was just so much more streamlined, and I'm really looking forward now to playing through a lot more of the Lone Cowboy expansion solo scenarios for both the original Circle the Wagons now with that new updated scoring and this new version with Second Shot. If you're interested in checking out a copy, this will be coming to crowdfunding shortly here in October 2024, so be sure to click the link down in the description if you want to check it out and secure your copy today. And that's about all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I can't say it enough. And let me know in the comments, are there any other upcoming projects that you're excited about that you think I should check out? I'm chronically bad at keeping up to date on all the new board game news, so thank y'all in advance for helping keep me in the loop. Thanks so much as always for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.